Hello guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Siddharth Nair and today I'm going to give you 10 tips to follow while buying a used car. Tip number 1 is always compare prices. If you're looking for a car in specific, always go online. There are many websites out there. Always compare the prices, know what the market for that car is, do your research, then go and see the car. Don't go and look at the car without any idea of what the market for the car is, because you might end up paying too much for the car in the end. Tip number 2 is always check the details of your car on the online RTO website. There is a website where you can literally type in the car's registration number and you can get a whole bunch of information about that car. You can get information about how many owners it has had, the VIN number is correct, the chassis number, many things related to the car will be on that website, and that's a very important tool. I always use it. I'll put the link down in the description to that website. You can go check it out for yourself, and that is a big thing when you're buying a second-hand car. Always check the details online. Tip number 3 is always check out the service history. Most of the new cars nowadays come with a service book which will record the periodical services of the car. Check the service book, check to see if all the services have been done on time. That helps the car in a big way, because if the car is not serviced properly, it will end up being very bad. So always check the service history, and you can contact your local dealer and give the registration number of the car and check if the car has been in an accident, whether it has been repaired properly. You can get all those kind of information from the dealer. Tip number 4. Take a test drive. I mean, don't just go out giggling and just don't take a drive. Take a proper serious test drive. What you're looking for is whether the car is pulling to one side, because if the car has been in an accident and if it's not mended properly, the car will pull to one side. Depending on where the crash has occurred, it will keep pulling to one side. So check if the car pulls to one side, check if there's any noise coming from the suspension, the bushes, all those stuff, and check if the engine is running properly, whether the pulling of the car is there, whether the engine is strong, whether the engine is healthy. You can hear the noises of the engine and you can say if the engine is healthy or not. Tip number 4, always check the panel gaps, guys. Panel gaps, I mean the gap between the front fender and the bonnet, the front fender and the door, the boot and the door. All those panels should be gapped. I don't know how much of a gap there should be. It depends on different models and different makes. They have different gaps, but if you see it and if you see one side is closer and the other side is not that closer, that is a sign that car has been mended due to some kind of an accident or something. Do check out all the panel gaps, and if they line up, if they match, I mean the gap on the right side matches up with the gap on the left side, that is a good sign. Check all around the car for all these panel gaps. Tip number 5. Check all the glasses in the car. I mean the windscreen, the doors, the rear window. Check all the glasses. Every glass has a number on it. Shows you the make of the glass. If your car is a 2005 car, it should have 2005 stamped glasses all around. It is normal to have a 2005 car which has 2004 stamped glasses. That is pretty normal. It happens in the assembly line. But if your car is a 2005 and it has a 2008 or 2009 stamp, that means that glass has been replaced somewhere down the line. It could be because of an accident. Ask the owner why it's been changed. Tip number 6. Check for the gap between the speedometer and the dashboard. There shouldn't be any gaps. The seating should be flush. And if there's any kind of gap, that means that speedometer has been replaced. It has been taken out at some point of time, and the actual reading might not be what the car has done originally. Tip number 7, guys, always negotiate the price, because who knows, you might get the car for cheaper, and that's always a good thing. So always negotiate. Don't be shy to negotiate. Always try, and who knows, maybe it might not lead anywhere. Maybe the seller is really adamant and he won't come down on the price, and if the car is that good, you go for it. It's a good buy. Sometimes the price might drop drastically. You might have never thought of that, but you will never know unless you try. So always negotiate on the price. Tip number 8. Never look at one single car and finalize on it. That's a really bad and stupid thing to do. Always go out there, look at a bunch of cars, then shortlist 3 cars. Out of these 3 cars, you talk to the sellers individually, you get a good deal, and whichever car you find the most attractive or which you think is the best value for money, go for that car. Never settle down on one car. Go see one car in the morning and buy it in the afternoon. I have done that personally and it has ended really badly. So always, as a thumb rule, always shortlist 3 cars, because when you have an option, you're not narrow-minded into buying that car with all its faults, and it always ends badly. So if you have 3 cars, a minimum of 3 cars, you have a wide variety and you have a choice. Tip number 9 is don't offend the seller. Sometimes the seller might be delusional. He might be asking a lot of money, which is nowhere near the current market value. In that case, try negotiating with him, try talking some sense into him, but don't offend the guy. Offending someone is a really bad idea. I don't personally want to do it. If the car is overpriced, I try negotiating with him, and if the deal is not working, I'll just say okay, thank you, and I'll just leave. I have had bad experiences when I was selling a car and a bunch of people, I don't know what they call themselves, car gods, I don't know what. They come, they check out my car and they say, oh, this car is too overpriced, this is that, the door is falling off, this is falling off. When the car was mint, they abused my car. I did not like it one bit. So don't offend the seller. You don't know what kind of a nutshell he might be. Say one more thing about my car, you die. Now another tip, this is really arguable. There are a lot of outstation vehicles for sale in Kerala. Cars from Maharashtra, Delhi, Haryana, Punjab. Many cars are out there for sale, and let me tell you guys, these cars are cheap. They are really cheap, and they are cheap for a reason. Most of these cars might have been totally trashed and bought for scrap value. I don't know how that works, but even though that is not the issue, some of these people buy these cars for really cheap and come here and put a whole lot of money into it, make them as good as new. And the cars are in good condition. I'm not saying it's in a bad condition, but the problem is where when you want to get the car registered into your name, you'll have to convert the number from a Maharashtra or a Delhi number to a Kerala number, and that is a total nightmare. They will tell you it will happen within a month or 2 months, but no. It takes minimum at least 9 months to a year. I have had experience. I have bought a car and it's still not registered in my name. It is still out there, and no, nothing has happened. It's almost been 10 months. It's almost been 10 months. No. It takes time. I'm not saying it will not happen, but it will take a lot of time, and at some time you will get really angry and why is this not happening? This is because of the government officials and their issues and their problems. The seller might not be aware of this sometimes, but that is the issue. They will tell you the car has an NOC. If you want to buy these cars, check the NOC thoroughly. When you get the NOC, check if the VIN number, the chassis number match, because a lot of times these numbers won't match. I'm not saying there are fake cars, but the people in Haryana and some of the northern states, they are not very keen when it comes to paperwork. And maybe the last 2 digits or the first digit or some digits in the middle, they might not end up as correctly on the NOC. And this is a big issue here in Kerala, because our government officials are spotless when it comes to checking the paperwork. Nothing else, just the paperwork. So they will be like, the VIN number is not matching. Do something. Go. Nothing will happen. And you'll have to go back to Haryana or go back to Punjab where you bought the car. Spend a lot of time, a lot of money to get this thing changed, and it just takes a lot of time. So that is a big problem. And if you have the money, go buy a car in Kerala. It is much stress-free. But if you want to do it, it is a good option. It is very low on price, and if you're ready to wait, there's no other issue with it. Go for it. These are good cars. Do check out the cars really, because some of them are really scrapped and they have been rebuilt. The quality of the rebuild will totally determine how long the car will run. So those were my top 10 tips to keep in mind while buying a used or second-hand car. If you found this video informative or entertaining, please go subscribe to my channel, like this video and share this video with your friends. We'll see you next time with another video. Till then, bye-bye.